Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So this morning we're gonna get some mods done to the truck again. Just looking at getting this programmer hooked up and actually functioning the way that it was on the previous truck. So this is on our 18 Ram 2500 Bighorn G56 manual transmission. So a lot of exciting things that are going to happen today, and we're going to be getting some new sounds out of the truck and hopefully start going through some tuning. Today we will be running just the box tunes just because it's the most expedient method of getting this thing tuned and back on the road, and just get the sound that we want. So you know, if you guys are looking to do something to get a better sound out of your truck or whatever, this will be a good example. I'll make sure that we include a stock exhaust video or sound clip, and then also an aftermarket one. So if you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe. If you like this video, hit that like button, and we'll get into getting the installs done and everything hooked up. We still have our ISPRO R30,000 back pressure gauge that we need to wire in. It'll be wired into the headlight switch. That'll be in a future video here coming up pretty soon, but we'll show you some tips and tricks, what not to do, what to do, and get that thing going. We also have picked up the copper tubing that we will be utilizing to bend our own coil to reduce the heat coming off the exhaust manifold going to the sensor. So stay tuned for that, and let's get to the video. Alright guys, so the first thing that we're going to do before we install a program is we are going to make sure that our firmware in our programmer is updated. This is for the Raceme Ultra programmer, which is what we have. However, it is very similar. It is a very similar process for the MM3 power unit as well. They virtually look the same. I think they're built by the same company. I want to say in Italy, the controller itself is, at least. However, they do run different firmwares and things like that. You can't use a Raceme Ultra program on an MM3. So if you look here closely, it shows our firmware software number. So right here, 009B as in Bravo. So when we go to fire up the programmer on the bottom left of the screen, I believe it says. Yeah, bottom left corner of the screen. It'll display this number if it's up to date. We've already gone ahead and updated it, but I'm just showing you guys what you would want to do before you install any programming. We've also already programmed the truck once before, just to ensure that our VIN license worked, because we had this programmer on a different truck. You get a total of 4 VIN licenses, so you will need to purchase another one if you transfer this programmer to another platform. All right, so now this is the M3 website. Their stuff is virtually the same, so you got your downloads up here, and then you just want to go ahead and scroll down and ensure that you have the proper firmware. There's a little bit harder to read, but it's firmware 2.2.13, which, if I'm not mistaken, supports I think it says supports TPMS, higher boost pressure PID, and some other things. Alright guys, so we're going to take this micro SD card, put it in the programmer, and then we're going to turn it on, and it'll start doing its thing, checking the firmware and all that stuff. These things don't really go in too easy with bigger hands. Okay. All right, so we're just going through and selecting our power levels here. Okay, next. All right, so now it's going to program. It'll do its thing, and then we'll come back to it once it's done. Roughly, it should take no longer than about 10 minutes or so. These things are pretty quick at programming, whether it's a Raceme Ultra or a Raceme Ultra or a MM3 power unit. So we'll get back to it once it goes through all its checks, and you'll cycle the key a couple times, and everything will be good. And then we'll start the truck up, make sure there's no codes, and that'll be on the box tunes. All right, guys, so here we go. We got dashboards, got all our logs and everything. Obviously, we're not going to have our gear indicated because the truck is a manual. So we'll go through and reset all these, but everything's working. It's code free, so we're ready to go. All right, guys, so for the routing of this programmer, it'll be the same for the MM3 unit. So what we did is we ordered this gauge. It's like more of a pass-through than a gauge holder or mount, but it just mounts like this to the back of the Raceme and then the MM3. This is made, I believe, by Autometer. And this is also Autometer as well. And it's just an A-pillar 2-gauge mount. And then we ran the wires down here. We took this side panel off, and then we ran them up. Because this is a manual transmission, we ran them through the grommet of where some of your harness would come through. And we're actually getting ready to move this a little bit because the clutch pedal is actually hitting them just a little bit more than we like, so we're going to kind of push those off to the left side of the truck. And then this is our EGT sensor that got pulled off. So I'll also post a link for if you guys want to get a new probe sensor end. Instead of buying a whole new probe, you can get just the end and repin it and all that stuff rather than spending $100 and something. This part is literally like 10 cents if you get it through the company that has it. Which I got from MM3 Power. Great group of guys, very knowledgeable and very helpful, especially their engineers. I will provide the link and the information that they provided me of where to get this. So 10-cent part to repin these, plus probably the connectors or the pins. So you can do that and then pay like $5 for shipping. All right, the rest of the programmer is pretty simple to install. We ran our wires here, you can see them. We ran our wires here, you can see them right here, kind of zip tied up out of the way. Plugs into the OBD connection here. You have a box that's under here. I can pull this panel and show you. I have to relocate it anyways because the way that we mounted it didn't stay. We had some little stick adhesive zip tie mounts that went here. They didn't stick very well, so that's why you kind of see these hanging down here. So we're going to tidy that up. And then the rest of it, there's one other plug that you got to be aware of, which is the unlock cable. And we'll show you that here in a second. That's under the hood, right under the intake horn. Okay, so the plug that we're talking about is up under here, under the intake horn. Let's see where you can see the wire right here. One little note, on the MM3, talking with the guys over at MM3 Power, they said that they have experienced some issues with programming the 18 and newer trucks, as far as with the security gateway module. This is a very unlikely thing to happen, but in the event that it does happen, where it cannot finish programming because it's being blocked by the security gateway module, which is blocking the CAN bus commands or communication, you will need to install a bypass harness. They said that this has happened maybe, I want to say they said on 1 out of every 600 trucks or something that's been programmed, and I'm not sure where they got that number from. It may not be as accurate anymore, but basically what they were trying to relay is that it's very unlikely. They've only had maybe 3 trucks actually do it, where the ECM will not finish programming and it will just stay on. This will cause your battery to die. I also mentioned this in another video, and in which case all you need to do is get yourself a unlock cable, either from Z Automotive, KO Tech, one of those guys. Install it up under here, which just goes, we've got one installed right now. We actually programmed with it on, so you can program the truck with it on. If you know you don't have this issue, it's not going to be a big deal. So install the bypass cable, plug your programmer in, rerun the program function, and then it'll program the truck. All will be good, your batteries won't die, and then you can either uninstall it or just leave it in. I leave it in because I like to go in and change things with Alpha OBD, and it's just one less thing I have to do to actually make my changes. A note on the unlock cable: if you decide to leave it in, it can leave your vehicle more vulnerable because it doesn't have that security gateway module in there. So I mean, I haven't had any issues. I don't have anybody trying to steal my truck or nothing like that, but in the event that something were to happen, I would definitely recommend probably taking it out if you're not going to be doing any type of programming with Alpha OBD. The truck's running really good, even on the box tunes. They are selectable by going to here into your switch. So you got stock, tow, street, performance, race. You got 4 different dashboards you can choose from, right here, I believe. Nope. So you got 4 different dashboards you can enable, set up however you'd like. You can do different tuning, TPMS adjust, all that stuff. Return it back to stock. It's awesome. So, but that's pretty much the video. We'll try to get some different sound clips in here, and a little bit of driving. I'll do a driving video coming up here in a couple days, and we'll get that up so you guys can see what it actually sounds like on the road. Alright guys, so that's going to be the end of this video. If you liked it, please hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed and you're a new you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure you get that bell notification so that when we do upload new videos, you guys can get notified that we've put them up. And stay tuned for more automotive content. We try to post on a weekly basis, but sometimes that's a little tough. So we'll post it as we make it. But if you guys have anything that you want to see or anything like that, something different, we will be adding some more stuff to the channel. We just picked up some new stuff about a week or two ago, so we'll be adding that. And it won't all be about Rams or Ram trucks. We'll have some variety on the channel as well. But anyways, thanks for watching.